So, fertilizer, white paint, and sugar. What do all these have in common? Well, chemicals, these preservatives and chemicals are finding their ways into our daily lives through the food we eat. Not just any kind of food though, particularly in fast food. So, today I'm going to discuss the benefits of cooking at home and how it is better for your health, it's more costly efficient, and how it ultimately saves our time. So first, let's talk about health. Obesity is becoming a larger problem in America. About 1/3 of the U.S. population is obese, and another 1/3 is overweight, according to the CDC, or the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. So this means 68.8% of our population has weight problems. And over the years, it's gone, it's from gradually to rapidly, and it's a contributing factor out of 5 of 10 factors of death, which is heart disease, stroke, diabetes, cancer, and kidney disease. So obesity is the similar cause in all of these diseases. Obesity is not to blame, however. Even no matter how amount of exercise or overeating, obesity still occurs. According to NBC.com, they've pinpointed the cause of obesity to be endocrine disrupting chemicals known as EDCs. They nickname them obesogens. They're to cause for our weight gain. They mess with our endocrine system, which is responsible for our hormones in our body, and the obesogens tamper with our hormone that involves weight gain. So basically, no matter, even if we exercise, diet, these chemicals that attach to our hormones are the reasons why we're we're becoming obese. An example, have any of you ever looked at the ingredients and what you're eating? Okay, I went on the website for McDonald's and looked at the ingredients of a Big Mac. So the ingredients are 100% beef patty, a Big Mac bun, that's how they describe the bun, Big Mac sauce, pasteurized processed American cheese, shredded lettuce, pickle slices, and onions. The beef I found was 100% USDA approved, no filters, no extenders. So that was a good thing to see that the beef wasn't tampered with. The bun, for example, was described as the Big Mac bun. It had so many chemicals in it, it was like at least 10. One of them I found was calcium sulfate. It's basically the white pigment or the white color we use in white paint, for example. So say we want to make a paint white, or we use calcium sulfate, and this is going into the bun in our Big Mac. So that was a little shocking. Another one was ammonium sulfate. It was also found in the bun. Ammonium sulfate is an inorganic food. Basically, it's a fertilizer for wheat, and it's also going into the bun. High fructose corn syrup was found in the bun and the Big Mac sauce. We all know high fructose corn syrup as sugar, but too much added sugar in, say, the bun and pickles and sauce all adds up in our daily intake, and too much sugar can lead to other health problems. The most alarming one I found was a chemical called sodium benzoate. It was found in the sauce and the pickles. It's highly acidic, and mixed with high volumes of vitamin C and heat exposure, it can cause another chemical called benzene, which is known to cause cancer. So it made me reconsider eating Big Macs, I guess. So yes, all these chemicals were found in just this one meal. I didn't even bother to look at the other ones, but just in this one meal, and they're all very dangerous for us. So I feel that cooking at home and buying our fresh ingredients and going to farmers markets and grocery stores, we're able to control the amount of, not chemicals, but what is going in our body, and we understand more what we're consuming rather than these chemicals that are used as preservatives, because the restaurants, they freeze everything, so when you order it, they just warm it up. So that's basically where all these chemicals are coming from. Cost efficiency, it's more costly. A Big Mac meal, I believe, with the whole fries and a drink is about $5.50 to $6. If you consider spending $5 a day just on one meal for a span of 7 days, it's $35 just on maybe lunch. And over the weekend, I went to this farmer's market by my house. I bought so much fruit. I bought cherries, strawberries, grapes, apples, peaches, seasoning, all under $8. And that's gonna last me at least 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks. So you consider the price of one meal every day, which adds up to about $40, and going to the store, which can last you 2 weeks. What do you think is more cost efficient? So I found saving money and taking your lunch to school or work also saves you money too. And you think of the amount of gas you waste and the price of gas you waste while driving to the drive-thru and in the drive-thru. I mean, that's also money you can save there. So, a timely benefit of cooking at home. Say you go through a drive-thru at its busiest time, you work at In-N-Out, right? I mean, how long can the line get? Like 10 to 20 minutes? Exactly. So, say you can use 10 to 20 minutes waiting in line or waiting for drive-thru, or you could be at home, which my favorite meal is spaghetti, by the way. I like to cook it. It takes about 25 minutes to cook. Say your ground beef is defrosted already, you have your vegetables, your sauce, everything. 25 minutes maximum. And say you're spending the same amount of time in a drive-thru line. So, I think it's a less waste of your time to cook at home. Also, when you cook meals, you can cook extra. So there's this thing called leftovers. I don't think our culture is too familiar with it because we're used to fast food, so it's a one-time meal, so we don't really have as many leftovers. And it's faster, so you heat it up for 3 minutes. You don't have to go through another drive-thru, wait another 10 minutes. I believe it also saves time too. In conclusion, I believe that eating at home is more healthy for us because we control the amount of things we consume, less chemicals, less preservatives. We save money, I believe. I feel going to grocery stores and farmers markets are, we support local business and it's ultimately better for our health. And our time is saved in the long run. I understand we can't always cook at home because we're busy when we go to work and stuff. But if we're more conscientious of what we're ordering and we try to eat less fast food, we'll feel better about ourselves and our bodies won't hate us forever. Thirsty.
Chelsea, a few words, please.
I thought her playing was really strong and clear in the beginning. In the beginning, she was a little dependent on her outline, but once she started growing, she kind of drifted away from it, which was good. And I like the 2 examples about the comparison in costs and the McDonald's. I thought it was good.
All right, the opening I thought was fine, the rhetorical question. I thought that you had a good transition to the main point. I think you needed a stronger preview. Probably what would have helped the preview is if the supporting points were a little bit stronger. It felt like you had a couple of obvious things, but one of them, it doesn't end up being really well developed, and it's really mostly about this worry about the health issues that you're focusing on most of the speech. The cost issue feels sort of like it's a second-hand issue and it needs a lot more development. On the material on that first point concerning the health issues, I thought that you had some interesting information. You rely on some of the negative visualization, for instance, with the ingredients in the food products. I thought that's an interesting way to get people to think about the food in a negative way without necessarily going through the process of providing proof that shows that it's harmful. It's just, well, we think about it, all these things that are potentially problematic. The closest we got to something, well, you said it early on, a lot of these things are associated with obesity, and so they and obesity is connected to 5 of the leading causes of death. So we do have some connection there, but like I said, it's not as if you can point to, and everybody who gives a rationalization says this sort of thing. Well, eating this Big Mac's not going to kill me. No, not today. If you knew it was going to kill you, you wouldn't eat it. You'd say, oh, this is the last Big Mac I'll ever eat. So you'd say, well, I think I'll stop eating Big Macs today and live the rest of my life. It's a cumulative kind of thing, and I think you needed to get a little bit more information about it being the cumulative kind of thing. The idea that you have that you're focusing on this negative visualization, I think that works from a persuasive point of view. I think it weakens the logic of your argument a little bit, and I think you want to pump that up more. The cost issue, you picked the examples that's going to work best for your position. In and out would probably be the slowest fast food, although the best tasting fast food, but the slowest fast food. And then spaghetti might be the quickest home cooked meal that you could think of, and those kinds of things. So I think you're cherry picking a little bit of your example. Speaking of cherry picking, I'm thinking of all those vegetables and fruits that you got at the farmer's market, and I hope that they are all wonderful, but I would suggest you eat them quickly, because I have discovered that stuff doesn't last as long as it's supposed to, because it doesn't have all those damn sodium benzoates and other things in them, and the next thing you know, you've got a box of cherries and you're looking forward to eating it, and you pick it up and it's not a box of cherries, it's a box of cherry juice and fuzz, and you're going, it's not really what I wanted to have for lunch, and so that could be a little depressing too. And I think you need to be practical on those sorts of things. On the delivery issues, your pacing's a little inconsistent. I think you want to be a little more regular while you're speaking. Your voice drops out sometimes. I don't know if it's your energy level gets low, or you think you're going to emphasize a point by doing, dropping down like that. And it just feels a little strange. And I'm not always sure that you're conscious of the fact that you're doing it. It doesn't seem like it's connected to what you're doing. It's like sometimes you're up here and fine, other times you're talking really quiet. And then you're back to and you need to be a little more consistent about that kind of thing as well. Your eye contact was okay. When you're looking at us, you're doing fine, but of course you've got pages. I would say you were much better in the second half of the speech than you were in the first half of the speech. All right, thank you.